This is price list familiarization for the price list that is effective September 1st, 2012. Please stop the video and get your own copy of the price list at our knowledge base, www.rasbox.com. You can download it there by going to that. You'll find the logs Alterna prices. Click on that link. It'll be the second one that's shown there right now, effective September 1st. And we've got some choices there, PDF and spreadsheet. The SB is sort by burner, and that's what we'll be discussing in this price list. We also have sort by size. This is in all of the burner and control combinations, how we sort it within those areas. You may take a look at both, because you may find that for quoting out to a customer, the sort by size is more advantageous to you. The sort by burner style is the one that we have chosen to print and have available, but we'll always have both of them up here on rasbox.com. Page 1 is our table of contents. This is a good resource for you to find what it is that you need inside. Also on the back page, we have a list of items that will give you another way to find the particular items that you need to price out. Just a note, we do custom. Please contact us if you have a large or unusual fireplace or fire pit that you need advice and some sort of a fire feature on. We'll be happy to assist you on that. A complete set consists of the logs, or fireballs, fire shapes, fire stones, fire glitter, fire drops, the burner, and in many cases a grate. If it's with the Flaming Ember series or with the Double Face series, it will need a grate with it, or it's a part of the kit. With the Custom Pan CS or CXF, Custom Embers system, those are pan burners where the logs, ball-shaped stones, sit inside of the pan and no grate is used with it at all. The lighting control is either match lighted, which has no components but is still a control, uses the log lighter valve that's installed in the outside of the fireplace. Have the easy control system, the millivolt control system, all standing pilot systems, as well as the electronic ignition systems. On page 2, we talk about selecting a set, and then also we go in and discuss the various types of burner systems as well as their construction. On page 3 and page 4 we have the match lighted systems. They're all grouped by burner type, as we discussed, and we've added 2 columns to each burner page. We have the certification and the BTUs. Now the certifications, there are basically 3 different certifications that you'll find listed here. Z2184 is pretty much what used to be called the RADCO standard, or the City of LA Rule of General Application 2-72. It's become an ANSI standard for match lighted, and then also is applied for ones where you put like an easy control or a millivolt control system to it. ANSI Z2160 used to be the AGA Yellow Flames standard. It's the one that's required by many jurisdictions on the East Coast, although they may accept the Z2184, being that it is an ANSI standard, American National Standard Institute. And the ANSI Z2160 will always have either a standing pilot or an electronic ignition system as an integral part of the set. RIW means that it does not carry a certification by an independent third party. In many cases, either there is no standard that would cover this particular system, or it's a case where we would have to redesign the system in such a way that we would lose the aesthetic beauty of it, the reason for it being in our price list and in our offering at all. in order to bring down the emissions levels to a point where we could gain certification on it. So rather than kick the guts out of the set and make it unsaleable, we offer it to you as is with the backing of our 100 and some odd year old company and our experience in the gas log business since 1958. And the continue with the match lighted on page 4, including, as I'll bring to your attention here, the DFCF with the HFG. With this combination here, if you order that model number and then at the end of it, as you'll see on every page, we have add an N for natural gas, a P for propane. If you add that on there and order this, you will get 2 cartons. It's actually 2 items. You'll have the burner box and then the grate that corresponds with that particular burner style. And then a note about our certification is our ANSI Z2184 and Z2160 sets are listed by PFS, which is a nationally accredited third-party listing agency. The BTUs per hour, that is your maximum BTU rating, both in natural gas on the left-hand number and propane or LP on the right hand. Many jurisdictions, code officials, plumbers, HVAC installers may ask you for that information. We've made it readily available for you here in the price list. Following the match lighted systems are the safety controls. These are the kind of a la carte ones that you can have on hand to match up with the match lighted systems. We have a discussion here of the various types, the easy control standing pilots, the millivolt switch standing pilots, and then the 2 types of EIS systems. We also offer factory assembly of the easy or millivolt RPK control systems, not the EIS, to the match lighted burners. Of the F, FX, CS, CXF, and TNA systems. You would configure it like this and add $45 list price, but as you'll see in the upcoming pages, we've done those calculations for you. We've put together the model numbers. That really is our large contribution and change to this particular price list. And continuation here are the various types of control systems on an a la carte basis to add to the match lighted systems previous. And then over here we have just the individual burners without grates, both in the FFX and double face sets. Over here on page 8 we have the older style of double face. That's where we had 2 F or FX burners that you connect together with elbows and T's. A lot more work in installation than what you have with the DFCF, and I highly encourage you to go with the DFCF, which here is an all-in-one pan that's a combination of a single tube down the middle for your main flame and then a series of ember boosters that puts the gas where we want it to give you a good healthy ember bed and additional intermediate flame, and sits underneath the heavy grates parallel so that it has the same look on both sides, especially when used with the double face logs that are further in the price list. And then with the sides on it there, it provides a good barrier between the flame and the control system if it's assembled onto it. This is the larger double face units. We have a DFLC and a DFLD. This is the DFLD that's shown here. It's 25 inches in depth and made for large fireplaces, used with the timber fire pH log style is recommended, and you would use 2 sets on this particular burner, and you would need a very large gas supply line, at least a 3/4 if not a 1 inch, to provide sufficient gas volume to power this large burner. And then we have the individual grates, single and double face, ember booster burners, which are used on the old, the F style. These came about before we made the FX, but you may want to retrofit. And then we've got our log lighter burners, which provide for convenient lighting of a wood fire. Then we start into our manual safety control systems, and where we pair together the burners and the valve control styles. The manual is your SBK3E and ME systems. These are your easy controls, and again have the certifications that are attached to them there. The Z's here go with the Z2160. The SBK3Es go with the Z2184, and then these other combinations do not carry any certifications other than our good word and sound engineering and design practices that frankly are the same that go into our certified sets, but as we discussed earlier, for aesthetic reasons, we don't compromise the aesthetics in order to provide the what the market needs. So the major price change to this price list is our emphasis on factory assembled burner and control units, and the reasons for this is ease of pricing. We've combined those burner and control styles with the installation charge onto it. It's only $45 list price onto it. It makes for a much easier installation, especially if you're drop shipping to somebody or if you're selling one and then ordering one from us. Let us install the control system onto it per the price list here. You're going to have fewer issues overall. It's going to be installed the way it was intended to be installed. There's just going to be fewer problems all the way down the line, no callbacks, no frustrated customers, and when all said and done with that, you will get more profits. You're going to get repeat business, referral business. No callbacks is no additional money out of your pocket. Life is good. I highly recommend that you opt for the factory assembled options. And after the manual control systems, we have the remote ready easy safety control systems. Just a word about these is these do require although it has a 3-position on off and remote switch on the receiver, they're best used with one of the 5 different types of remote operating devices, 2 different types of handheld transmitters, as well as the wireless wall timer, wireless wall switch, and wireless wall thermostat that you find on page 5. Continues on page 12 for the easy remote ready, and then on page 13 we have the variable flame height remote. Though all of these RMC1E and RE systems include the handheld transmitter that once you've lit the pilot, you can turn the unit on and off and raise and lower the flame with the handheld transmitter. Continues on page 14 with that particular item, and then we get into on page 15 the variable remote electronic ignition in the valve vanisher. And the valve vanisher system is where we have taken and got rid of the big ugly box that's on the side of the burner system that it forces you to downsize to the next smaller set size for the log system. Not very aesthetically pleasing. What we've done is we've taken the control system, and it's a different one than shown here, but tucked it underneath the burner and grate system and raises up the floor of the burner and grate by 2 5/8 inches, and we have the control system on the valve on the right side, the control module on the left. It's powered by 4 AA batteries and a battery pack that's attached with a 4-foot long lead that allows you to move the heat sensitive batteries, which fail at a temperature lower than the components for the valve and control module, get it away from the heat source. If you can put it outside the firebox, you have room with the lead that's supplied with it. Makes it easier for changing out those batteries when the time comes. Never want to put the battery pack in the back of the fireplace. That is just an oven back there, and you'll have premature failure. Have to replace those batteries. All the valve vanishers for electronic ignition come with the handheld transmitter. For vented sets, it has on and off, and you can vary the flame height. There are no thermostats allowed on the vented sets. two different views from the side that show on the valve, because of the form factor on it there, you will always have a right side gas hookup on it. If your gas comes in on the left side, you'll need to plumb behind and come into the right side to make that connection. Everything is factory assembled out of the box. All you have to do with the valve vanisher, electronic ignition, and later you'll see with the millivolt control system, pull it out of the box, make your gas connection, put your pan filler in the pan, your embers, place your logs, light it off, and you'll have a happy customer and a happy installer. And then we have the millivolt valve vanisher system also. And just a word about the louvers here. We have airflow is important for keeping these controls cool. You want to make sure that you never block these by piling up the volcanic ash up against them. You can obscure them by placing twigs, pine cones, a berm of volcanic ash in front of it, but just never block those off, or else you'll have be creating problems. On the millivolt valve vanisher, it does have a toggle switch here that has the on-off and remote system where you can hook up a wireless wall switch, or not wireless, but a wired wall switch, a wired wall timer, which is great for hospitality things, so it's not burning all the time. And this type of system is also good for hooking up to a home automation system, an Enervex exhaust fan system, a Flue Sentinel system. You can't run these types of systems off of the electronic ignition system. It's a closed system on it, but if you do have the call for this type of integration, then you want to go with the standing pilot millivolt system with the valve vanisher. And then after the valve vanisher millivolt, we have the other types of RPK3 and RPK1 type standing pilot millivolt systems. Again, the same functionality as previous with handheld transmitters, wired wall switch, wired wall timer, integrate in with the Enervex and Flue Sentinel systems, home automation systems. More of the millivolt systems on page 18 and 19, and then here we've tucked in calculations for determining the amount of glass or fire drops, fire glitter that you need for rectangular pits or circular pits or fireplaces. You can just put in your dimensions, divide by the factor here, and it'll come up with the amount of pounds of glass that you need. And on the next page, you can purchase in 10-pound bags the glass and the fire drops. Now we get into the fire line sets. We have natural gas vented systems here, match lighted, with the glass and the drops already there. Make sure that you specify whether it's for black or stainless steel, and the color of either BG for blue green or EG for emerald green, or whichever color you'd like to go with these as a suffix. And then we also offer it just without any of the glass or fire drops, so you can order your own color from a separate vendor to fit into it. We also offer the fire glitter with valve vanishers, with both electronic ignition and the millivolt control system. Here is the match lighted natural gas fire glitter type system. The platinum glass is shown here. Very nice full effect. With each of the systems, we provide with log lifter blocks that go behind the L-shaped burner pan that take up the volume and allow for the nice mounding of the glass there without using additional glass. And this is the valve vanisher system with the electronic ignition shown in stainless steel for the fire line if it's used without any glass, or you want to put your own glass into it, or you can purchase it with our fire glitter and fire drops. And we get into page 23. We have the various log sets that go with the burner systems, either the match lighted or the ones with the control systems on the previous pages, and just goes through the various styles. And then we have on the bottom of page 27 our sampler pack and sample of the ceramic colors. Then we get into our various sets for the Alterna fireballs, massive fireballs, which are the larger diameters, uniform size, so they're in ranks and rows and pyramid up to a point. And then we have the mixed fireball sets, which are combinations of sizes of full round spheres and half balls. We have fire shape sets, which are combinations of other geometric shapes, cones and pyramids and cubes, as well as balls and half balls. And you can see the configurations for these on our website. And then we have our Firestone sets, which are in 4 different sizes and different colors, and you need to specify both on the on the fireballs, fire shapes, firestones. You always want to specify the colors, except in here where like the CX and the BX and the BWB, those are already specified for you. But if you're in this area here where you're going to have a say all black STBL-18A or STBE for beige, if you wanted all that. And over here on page 31 we have the size range of the individual stones that are in the various packs. Like the pebbles are all little tiny ones, that range from a half an inch to an inch in the height, and as you can see there, we do not sell individual stones. Our production is based on selling them in the packs. So that's why we have these size ranges, so you can figure out what you need, and then you can purchase these packs down here. And you'll note that next to each pack we show what the square footage is. That's if you lay all the stones out next to each other, that's the approximate amount of surface area that they will cover, and then from that you can determine through calculating just basic geometry how many packs you need to fill a certain area. And then from that, if you want to tier it up, then let's say that it was 2 square feet for the bottom layer, then maybe 1.5 square feet for the second layer, and 1 square foot for the third layer, and then you mix it all around once you start installing it. But that's a good way of going about figuring out what you need. This shows our size range of fireballs that we have, from the small 2-inch ball to the 12-inch ball and many places in between. And over here is where you can purchase those individual balls as well as shapes of various types, or we also offer fire shapes packs where you can buy multiples of each one and you get a price break from when you purchase them individually. Page 33 and 34 we discuss about the Rumford fireplaces. The Rumford fireplace is wide front, narrow back, steep taper, shallow depth, and that's different than your traditional fireplace and requires a different type of system for it. We've created a retiring teepee, which is a shorter stack, and the Rumford teepee, which is a taller stack. They're vertically oriented to go with the tall openings of traditional Rumford fireplaces. If you try to use these in a regular fireplace that's more horizontally oriented, it's going to look kind of funny, and it's not going to fill the volume. It's going to have a greater volume inside the fireplace to fill up. If you want to try doing that, you're probably going to have to add extra logs and go to a larger TNA burner. It may spec out for a Rumford fireplace 36-inch that you would use a TNA 20. You might want to go to the TNA 24 if it's got the 36-inch front, but instead of a 13-inch rear, it has a 28-inch rear or something like that. The other thing too to point out is just because a Rumford fireplace size here in the item number says 42, that does not mean that you get a 42-inch log in that. That means that it's going to be intended to be used with a 42-inch front opening fireplace size that has these dimensions. That's what we've based our sizing of our Rumford log sets based on the traditional Rumford fireplace dimensions. The next page, page 34, we have the TP andiron burners that has match lighted as well as factory assembled controls to it, and the various types. With the standard type TNA burner, we do offer it with the valve vanisher and with the millivolt control system, as well as the electronic ignition system in the valve vanisher, and it's keyed to the sizes of the traditional Rumford fireplaces. We've made the chassis for the valve vanishers match the pretty well conform to the dimensions and taper and shape of the Rumford firebox. The E models over here, the enhanced burner, it gives an additional amount of flame up the front of it, but is not available in the valve vanisher systems due to BTU capacity issues of the valves. And then the Andiron Classic concept is where you take a TNA burner and an evening series log set. Most people like the evening Prestige because of the depth of bark and the heftiness of it, and you use your own set of andirons to prop up the left and right ends of the front logs and allow the middle to fall into the flame of the large ember bed of the TNA burner. It gives a very unique effect compared to your traditional log set that's out there. Plus, it also helps you sell a nice set of andirons to your customer to give them that fully furnished fireplace look. Page 36, we have our fire pit log sets and our fire ring burners that go with them, as well as a volcanic ash calculations for fire pits. In RASBox under General Fire Pit Guidance, we have information about how you should place your burner with the holes down, cover it with volcanic ash to provide a nice level platform for stacking your fire pit logs, as well as to diffuse the flame. If you don't do that, if you just put logs straight onto a fire ring burner, that harsh jet of flame is going to cause premature failure of the logs. And this is an example of a fire ring burner, 24-inch with double ring. Has half-inch connection in the center. We do not recommend using fire pit burners with any type of control system. There just is no pan to zone off the flame from a thermocouple system or pilot system. It's an uncontrolled system. It's just not made, especially in an outdoor setting, it's not made for controls. We recommend match lighting for outdoors. In most of our systems for the fire pit logs, we have what we call the middle support system, where we have a large log that bisects the footprint diameter that provides the support for all the other logs that are piled up and to provide and make the round footprint. Some of the logs are all bark, some are in the driftwood manzanita look, and some are in the bark and split. And that's all delineated in the price list. Then on page 37, we get into our first of our vent-free systems. We have our coal fire, which we have the different types of baskets. We have our Americana, our Classic, and our Moderne that are all fit around the coal burner and control system. You can also use that heart of the system there with your own type of basket and or fret front. It's made for your small Victorian or coal fireplaces that may have a very inadequate chimney or a dilapidated chimney, because most of those were made around the late 1800s, early 1900s, so they're pretty old and normally don't have very good venting. Then on page 39, we talk about our vent-free gas logs, our chill busters, and talk about the various types of control systems. We offer them with not only with the easy control system, but also millivolt controls, as well as electronic ignition systems. And then we also talk about the #1 service call for all vent-free heaters, whether it be a Rasmussen chill buster or Alterna vent-free, Brand X's vent-free, Blue Flame and Radiant space heaters, anything equipped with an ODS. They have a little hole that draws in air to mix with the gas to provide the stable pilot flame of the ODS, and over a period of time, many months, normally several years, it accumulates dust that's in the air to the point where it makes the pilot flame unstable, and you get a nuisance shutdown. And it literally, the complaint will be, it was working up until not too long ago, now it works for 10 or 15 minutes and just shuts down on its own. Well, that tells you that you need to blow out that pilot hole. We have instructions on Rasbox for doing that, and it's got about a 98% success rate. People are very pleased when they learn that they just have to do that. If they clear out that hole and it still has nuisance shutdown problems, then you need to replace the ODS. Again, on Rasbox we have photos of where the little hole is with each of the ODS pilot systems. And this shows the electronic ignition system on a C7. You can see that the valve is right here in the control module over here and is not very visible on it. And each of those systems includes the handheld transmitter that with the vent-free systems also has, besides on, off, and variable flame height control, also has a thermostat and countdown timer feature, and is again powered by 4 AA batteries in the pack with the 4-foot lead on it. And on page 40 and 41 we have the different types of chillbuster systems, and you want to make sure again that you suffix each one of them with the N for natural, P for propane, and you cannot mix and match. You can't take HF logs and use them on a C8 and vice versa or any other things. They are, the HF logs go with the C5, the HG go with the C7, etc. The C8 is a system that does not have a visible grate. It's unique in the industry in that regard and provides for a nice effect, very good for framing with andirons. C1 and C2, the original chillbusters. Then we get into the alternative vent-free systems, and again we make that note about the clog pilot hole. And here is an example of the AFM burner system in stainless steel. It's also available in black, and this is how it looks with the electronic ignition, very tucked in underneath there for the components, and again comes with the transmitter. Fire glitter, fire balls, fire shapes, fire stones, and the alternative VF are all in this section. This is the fireballs, again showing the electronic ignition, also available in the millivolt control system, as well as the easy system. And the same chassis style has your location for your balls. In this case has different cutouts for the stones, different cutouts for the shapes, but it all has that same type of effect to it. Fire shapes, fire stones. And at the end of the fire stones, we start getting into the replacement parts for the various control systems, valves and transformers and whatnot that are used in all those. The next page, page 50, you have parts for chillbusters and Alterna systems. And page 51 is all of your miscellaneous accessories, your sand, your ash, your embers, vermiculite, pine cones, twigs, chips, chunks, chunkers, miscellaneous valves, aluminum connectors. Here's our stainless steel non-whistling flex connectors that are painted black that are included with each of the sets, and miscellaneous fittings. And on page 52, the back page, we have the index of items, which is another thing to work with your page 1 that has your table of contents. And then the Rasmussen resources, just a word about those. Emails just generally can go to info@rasmussen.biz, but when you're placing orders, we have a special email address, orders@rasmussen.biz. Please send it only to that. Please do not CC anybody else in our organization on an order. Orders@rasmussen.biz. Mailbox is always manned by somebody who is responsible for it, meaning that if the one person who's responsible goes on vacation, somebody else will be getting those emails in his or her absence. If you and so if you send it to somebody else, an order, it may be that they're away for the day, out sick, or they may be off on vacation for a week, and it may or may not get attended to. So protect yourself and your customers by placing any emails orders to orders@rasmussen.biz, or fax them to us. We have our main website at rasmussen.biz. Somebody contact me sometime. I'd be happy to tell you why it's not .com. Sordid story. And then it's a portal for our various websites that we have split up for our Rasmussen Gas Logs, which includes the Alterna Solaire grills, our Bromic Radiant patio heaters that we distribute, as well as our Solaire demo program. Rasbox.com is your resource for all things Rasmussen. It's knowledge base. It's got troubleshooting information, your instruction manuals, copies of the brochures, price lists. There is a login required if you want access or need access to any net pricing or anything that I term behind the curtain that we don't want consumers to see. But generally, most of the information is open 24/7 to all comers who are interested in learning and finding the information they need about their particular log set or situation that they have. The photo and video repository is at our rasmussen.smugmug. That allows you to download the photos and whatnot 24/7. We have various YouTube sites we've segmented for our logs, Alterna and Solaire. And then gaslogsandgrills.com is where you can go to read our past newsletters, as well as to sign up for the newsletter if you're not currently getting this valuable and helpful information. We try to make it full of interesting information to assist you in building your business and in learning about our products and the industry. We have been proud to be serving you since 1907. We thank you very much for your business and look forward to serving you in the future. Please do contact us if you have any questions about this new price list. Thank you.